Hello everyone, welcome to the broadcast for today. It is our final stream of the month of September. Great to be here with you. I hope you are doing fantastic today and have had a very nice weekend. I would like to say hello to Cosmo Girl, DC, Promise. How are you all doing today? There's so much to read. There's so much to read. How was everyone's weekend? Hopefully very, very good. All right, let's see what everyone is talking about today. What sort of interesting things do we have to say? What is on our mind today? Let's see. Hi, Autumn. Hope you're doing well. Just had dinner. Awesome. You had dinner too. What did everyone have for dinner? I made dinner. I made an early dinner, like about 3 hours ago. So I should have taken a photo of it. It was very, very good. It was I made a ramen noodles. I had a whole bunch of toppings on top and everything. Not any of that instant stuff, you know. I do it very, very good. So yes, very, very good for me. Okay. Let's see here. You were the first one. Do you speak Spanish? No, I don't speak any Spanish. Sorry, I don't really know any Spanish. Who all knows Spanish? They don't know Spanish either, but they know their own language called rat language. That's right. That's right. How cute is that? Okay. I don't speak much Spanish. My husband is Mexican, so I'm trying to get better. Well, I'm sure you will in time. I'm sure you will in time. I thought I'd say, okay. My friend is Mexican. I just know a little. That's it. Yeah, I don't have any friends who are Mexican. You know, no friends that I talk to at least. So no, I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. My mom speaks Spanish because she was born in California. Also speaks English. She's more English than Spanish. Okay. Hmm. Uh, okay. I say, Joe, great to have you here. How are you doing? Hopefully everything is going well. Hopefully we got. Hopefully you have some things resolved. That'd be good. Let's see. Why does it say you're the only one watching? It's because you know how YouTube is. YouTube does not accurately show really anything. It really doesn't. I know I've seen before, if you've looked at like YouTube videos, like sometimes you'll see like the video will have like 100 views, but there would be like over 100 comments, like over like 100 likes, and like way over that. And it's like it doesn't accurately reflect, at least not in real time. And I think that's how it is for streams as well. So whatever the number says, it's probably not really accurate. It's probably lower than what it could actually be. So I don't know. I don't know. To be honest, I really don't. Do not know. Okay, let me read over some more of your comments, then we shall get to the topic. It's going to be interesting today. This is going to be an interesting discussion that we're going to have today. It really is. We're going to be talking about feelings of loneliness, doing love manifestation, doing a feet manifestation. So yes, it should be pretty good. Pretty good. Let's say. Tamales. Gosh, I haven't had tamales in a very, very long time. A very, very long time. You were number one, and now you're number 3. Yeah, what it is those are the rankings. You get experience points, and I think the most experience points you can get is just 75 experience points. Without, I think you can get additional. Okay, so this is the leaderboard here. What's the leaderboard? A place for fans to stand out in the community. The top 3 get special badges and live chat. It resets every stream. How do you get experience? So you can send a live chat message, which you've done. And if you want to go beyond the 75 experience points, and if you send a super chat or a super sticker, then you can excel to number 1. So there you go. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Spaghetti and meatballs. I haven't had that in a long time either. Yeah, it's been a very, very long time. What's my favorite color? Well, I'm wearing it. I like black, I like white, and I like purple. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. The new viral Dubai chocolate. I have no idea what that is. Incentives. There you go. Now a Joe is number 3. All of you are tied with 75 experience points. Anyway. So, let's say now. We're gonna go to our loneliness swing now, okay? Here we are in our loneliness swing. Here we are here, but there's no one to swing with us. We're so alone and so lonely. There's no one. There's no one there. Well, we'll be talking about how to tackle some of this loneliness that you may feel, because we all feel lonely from time to time. Okay? We all do. From time to time, we feel lonely. That includes me as well. You know, I feel it from time to time. I don't feel it all the time, but I feel it from time to time. You know, that's just how it is. That's just how life is. So how can you really tackle it? How can you understand it? And how can you begin to understand it and come out of that loneliness feeling? Well, the number one thing really is to recognize that you are lonely, because there's a lot of people who are in denial about being lonely. They're like, oh no, everything is fine. My life is good. My life is happy. I feel fulfilled. When deep down, they're really not. They're really not doing the greatest. They feel a sense of dread or loneliness deep within them, and it could be so bad that they repress a lot of it. They repress a lot of those negative feelings and emotions deep within them to the point that they don't even feel it anymore. And that's a major problem, because if you're not even able to become aware of these negative feelings, how can you possibly begin to tackle them? So it's okay if you feel lonely from time to time. And this is not something that's just going to affect women. Okay, men are going to feel lonely too, because I know there's some men who will think that, oh, I'm a man, I can't be feeling lonely. I'm perfectly fine, and that's not the case. You will feel it from time to time. You really will. So it's best to get out of that denial so you can start changing some of this mindset and this behavior. When you dwell on the feelings of loneliness, it makes you even more lonely. That is putting your conscious mind on the feelings of loneliness in general. If you're just focusing on this feeling of loneliness, that you don't have anyone, you don't have any friends, you don't have any love in your life, you have no one who really understands you, if you don't have any of that in your life and you're constantly thinking about it, constantly dwelling on it, what's going to happen then? you're going to end up feeling worse because you're going to begin obsessing over those negative feelings, over those things that really bring you down and make you feel really, really bad. So it's best not to dwell on those negative feelings, and instead put your focus onto something that makes you happy. What is something in life that makes you feel happy, that makes you feel fulfilled, that makes you feel as though your life has a meaning and a purpose? What are these things? Find some hobbies, find some activities, find some skills that you enjoy and start doing them. When you're focused on the loneliness all the time, it distracts you from that because you're not focusing on what will make you happy, and instead you're focusing on the negative things. You're focusing on the negative aspects of yourself that are bringing you down and making you feel in a sense of despair, like you don't have anything. But you do have plenty of things. You just may not be pursuing them right now, or you don't know what is really of your best interest. So what are some hobbies that you really enjoy? And why are you not pursuing them now? What are some activities that you enjoy to do? Do those things. And some skills. Learn some new skills. Because here's the fascinating thing about if you feel a sense of loneliness, the more you dwell on it, the more lonely you're going to end up being, because it's going to take away your motivation. It's going to take away your feelings of just drive in the world that really makes you excel. Okay? I know at times when I have, certainly felt very lonely, and I still do from time to time. It's not something that I dwell on every single day. Okay? But sometimes, I can feel it just as everyone else can. Okay? So I feel it, and it's a distraction from me doing something else. I focus on that and I'm distracted. I'm not really paying attention to what I really enjoy doing in life. So if instead you start focusing on the positive things that you enjoy, activities, hobbies, all that sort of stuff, new skills, guess what's going to happen? Doing those activities and skills are going to allow you to find what truly resonates with you, truly makes you happy and feel worthy. And then you will begin to attract the right people by being yourself. Because when you're in a feeling of loneliness, you often re-attract. You often don't really pursue the things that are really going to attract the right people to you. There's going to be a lot of desperation. There's going to be a lot of feelings of perhaps neediness that people don't like. At least I don't like that sort of thing when someone else is a bit needy. So if you instead focus on some positive things that really interest you, you're going to be able to meet people that are going to make you feel fulfilled, make you feel as though you do have some sort of purpose and you are achieving your goals. And the other thing, really, when you really think about it, let's kind of break this down a bit. Is there really any need to feel lonely? When you really break it down, because when we really think about it, there is oneness in everything. Every single thing is connected in some sort of way. Of course, maybe not inanimate objects such as these mice, even though, these mice can, go on the swing here, just kind of, that's right, but there's oneness in everything. Every single living thing, and I guess even including some inanimate things, I guess maybe to some degree, but those are more not really the same. But everything that is living, every human being, every living creature and animal and plant and everything that is alive, there is a sense of oneness you can feel with all those things that really connect all of you together. Even though if you feel a sense of oneness maybe with plants or trees, of course they can't talk to you like a human being can. They cannot react the same way. but there is a sense of oneness in that we're all part of the same earth, that we're living and growing and thriving. That is how we should view life, that there is a sense of oneness. So you really are never always alone. All of us have a spirit and a soul deep within us that really allows us to connect with something that is much greater than us, that allows us to really feel this sense of oneness. So if you do all of these things, then the feelings of loneliness that you have, I'm not saying it's going to completely get rid of them, but it will manage it in a much more efficient way so that you're able to be happier. And that's really what it's all about. Finding the things that you really enjoy, pursuing those, and meeting the right people, and just connecting with yourself and everything else around you. Ryan, great to have you here. Make sure I didn't miss anyone else here. Okay. I don't think I did. What's my favorite song? That's a good one. What is everyone's favorite song? My favorite song, you wouldn't even know it. I don't know if I have a favorite song. I don't know if I have a favorite song. I'm listening to several music right now. You know, like there's songs that I listen to, but I don't think I have a favorite. But yeah, no one would know what it is. So it's like, oh, what's that? No idea. No one would know. It's easy to get stuck. Indeed, it is very, very easy to get stuck in this mindset. Did you just create an alibi for Rooster number 1 and 2 by telling everyone that they aren't connected? Sounds sus. We are connected, boys and ladies. Connected by our feet. That's right. You heard them. They're connected by their feet. Feet. Isn't that cute? Look how cute. There. I like how they can just kind of ride the swing. Hang on. Let's get them on the swing. Here we go. Oh, that's funny. Hang on, like they're going to replace people back there right in the swing. Oh man, it's funny stuff, right? It's funny stuff indeed. Throat's a little bit dry. Okay. Let me see. Give me a moment. Okay. How have you been, Ryan? Hopefully you've been doing pretty good. We shall take this background off, because we're about to talk about something else very, very interesting. Let's see. Okay. We're about to go into the there we go. The magnet for a love center here. There we go. Kind of. There we go. Yes. This is kind of like not the most comfortable. I'm going like this. You've been doing well, just getting into the swing of things once again. Mom passing really threw me off, so it's a matter of pulling myself together. Oh, I'm sure that can be just so rough. Absolutely. Yeah, it'll give yourself a lot of time. So just be patient with yourself and know that no matter how hard it gets, you can always pick yourself up and find a better place. to really show who you truly are and express yourself in very positive ways. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty rough, I'd say. So I'm curious, before I start this next segment here, how many of you have done a love manifestation before? And has it worked for you? This is something that's very interesting. Love manifestation, because the truth is, you can manifest anything into your life. The law of attraction, manifestation, all that sort of stuff. Much like this image here that there we go. We have a magnet. A whole bunch of little hearts here. Let's see if we can see this a little bit better. There we go. I look all like, it looks nice and bright, okay? So, magnet, there we go. Little bit better looking now. So, yes, you can really bring anything into your life. You can attract anything. It's just how much are you willing to work for that and manifest that using, you can't just use your mind, but it's also actions that you take as well. But in addition, it's also you realizing what the reason for you doing this sort of thing is. There's multiple different ways of going about a manifestation, but it has to be done in a proper way, or else you're really not going to attract the correct things into your life that are going to benefit you. Because if you're doing it from a negative place, such as we talked about loneliness, the feeling of loneliness, if you're trying to attract love into your life to fill loneliness, then I'm sorry to say, it's really not going to bring anything into your life. And if it does, it's going to bring things that usually lead to abandonment fear starting to pop up, and will lower the own respect you have for yourself, and will make you end up feeling more lonely at the end of it, because you have not resolved some of those fears of abandonment, of loneliness. So it really does depend on your intention. So if you're saying, I want to attract this person in my life because I am so lonely and I want to fill this void of loneliness, then it's not going to work of your best interest. It's really not, because it has to be positive intentions. So that is where you really begin. You have to have the correct intentions before you even begin. What are these positive intentions that I speak about? You don't want to use it to fill a void of loneliness or despair or anything like that. Instead, you want to do it to have a mutual connection with someone that they share a similar life path, similar interests in life, to have one better one another. So basically, you want to view the other person that you're attracting into your life as someone who is going to help you on your journey in life, help you achieve your true goals in life, who will encourage you, who will allow you to be the best version of yourself and really connect with who you truly are deep down. And then you will also do the same for them. That is really the most positive intention you can possibly have here, to have a very similar, or it could be completely different of how it ends up going about, but a similar life path in that regard, where there is this similar shared interest of you always bringing each other up as opposed to a down, or making you feel bad. It's about bringing yourself up, bringing them up as well by you being who you truly are. So that is really where the foundation should actually begin when it comes to doing this manifestation. So how do you actually go about it? Because this is something that is very, 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 very interesting. Okay? And that would be, you do want to relax your mind, whether it be you do some sort of meditation or things along those lines, but you do want to be able to calm your mind and clear out any of those negative thoughts, as we talked about, and you want to focus on that positive intention that you have set of attracting the person who's going to have a similar thing to you, okay? It should be kind of attracting someone who is like you in some ways, okay? And you should imagine the person within your mind. How is this person? This is something that you can do, that you can be very specific with how you envision them. So you can imagine every little detail about them, how they physically look, how they talk, the types of interests that they have, mental, their emotional self, and then also their spiritual self as well. You can imagine all those different things. You can be very, very specific. Okay? And here's where it becomes even more profound on top of that as well. Because with all those things that you just envisioned, you just imagined, imagine then that person is with you right now. As if it's not some distant thing where they don't exist in your life. Rather, imagining it as if they're actually with you right now, physically right next to you. And just imagine that, and just feel the types of emotions that you have with having that person right there with you. Because that can get very, very intense. And usually if you feel those intense emotions during it, that's how you know that there's a lot of energy being put into this manifestation technique. Ideally also, you want to be able to speak all these things out loud. Why is that so important, to speak it out loud as opposed to just going through it within your mind? It's primarily so important to speak it out loud is because words have more power than what your thoughts are. So right now, I can sit here and think about something. You don't know what I'm thinking about. It's only when I actually speak it out loud does it have any sort of power. So if you speak everything that we just talked about out loud, when it comes to who the person is, all of the features that make them who they are, and then talking to them as if they're actually right there with you. It may sound very silly. It really may. But this is a very powerful technique that can bring a lot of positive things into your life, and you can use it for all sorts of things. Of course, we're talking specifically about attracting any sort of love within your life, or a romantic partner, or something that's going to really help you grow on your journey. Okay, even if it's not necessarily a love partner, it could be someone who really does change a lot of your life. So whatever the case is, if you really put in the time and energy for that, you will feel that. Feel the person actually be there. Speak it out loud. Put the intention out there. And then you will really begin to see over the coming, it could be days, it could be weeks, it could be a few months. You may begin to notice some things the more that you do this. But again, you always have to go back to your initial intention. Your intention is what? Something positive, to bring someone into your life who's going to help you realize your true potential, or go on that journey with you, and you will help them as well, just kind of going on a mutual journey together. Not that you need them to be on this journey, but they are there with you to also go on that journey, because it's also their journey. So these are very powerful techniques you can utilize. And if you do it every single day, maybe 15, 20 minutes or so, you may begin to see some changes within your life. So just don't ever give up trying that sort of thing until you begin to see some of those things. So I would like to talk also in a moment here about my own experience with this sort of thing. It's very, very interesting. But first, I need some water. It's very, very hard to talk now. I like this, the background. I don't want to change the background. Yes. It's a very lovely background. I've been doing, okay, let's say, Mom was a tough lady. She wouldn't stop doing her thing. So I'm taking a page from her book. That is great to hear. I tend to avoid manifestations of any sort. When you research stuff like this, I do. Let's say monsters and whatnot. Manifestation only one. Manifesting one is a real danger. Oh, when it comes to like monsters and stuff. Oh no, absolutely not. Yeah, see, look, manifestation can be very powerful. Yeah, you don't want to bring in any monsters. I see. I don't think I've specifically done manifestation. I think I definitely attract my husband into my life, though. Ah, see, look, there we go. That's how it happens. You baited him, huh? Set out some food and a snare trap. Maybe. Maybe. Yeah. Kind of want to keep this background for me sharing my story, but at the same time, it's kind of like, I kind of don't. You know, I kind of want to go back to a normal here. Normal. Because yes, I will talk about my briefly of things that I did and results that I have with that, because it is very interesting for sure. Yeah, if it works, you know, set out the trap. Yeah, men will fall for it very easily. The only type of trap we fall for is the feet trap. That's right. That's right. You just put, instead of like putting cheese in like a mouse trap, you just put a foot in it, and they'll come over and sniff like, and then they'll get caught in the trap. But they will still sniff the feet. That's right. Oh man. Okay, who is ready to hear my story of doing this love manifestation thing? You know, this is something that I was very, I guess prior to a few months ago, I was very shy about talking about. Okay? But now, there we go. Look, can we go like this? There we go. I was very shy about talking about it because it was very embarrassing to talk about this sort of stuff, because it is like, it's, you know, just a little bit strange, I guess, in my mind at the time, doing that sort of stuff. But we talked about, you know, doing this love manifestation thing, and I would just like to share exactly kind of how I did this and when I did it, and like some of the things that happened that was very interesting, to say the least. Okay, because there's a lot of things that happened when I did this that's like, this is not a coincidence. You know, all of these things, it's like I'm being guided on a certain path to experience certain things. So let's just kind of go back to the beginning here. So actually this whole thing begins over a year ago. Like maybe like a year and a half ago almost. Okay, so it's very interesting. So what I did, I don't know what made me even do with this. I guess I don't know. I just felt really drawn to do some sort of like love manifestation thing. Okay, and the first thing that I did is I wanted positive intentions. I knew that doing a manifestation of any sort required positive intentions. So I really wasn't approaching it from, I am so lonely. I want someone to fill this void of loneliness within me. Okay, because yeah, at times I can feel very lonely, absolutely. But that wasn't my intention. Rather, I realized that my intention was really about sharing a similar life purpose in my life with someone else. So this is usually something that someone who is very dedicated to their own personal growth and development and helping other people. Okay? So that was really the core foundation. So really attracting someone who was very similar in those regards. That was really what the core foundation was. And that is where it all began, really. Like very simplistic. Okay? Very, very simplistic. And I would say I began doing this sort of thing maybe, let's say maybe June of 2024. So, yeah, I guess about a year and a quarter ago or so, depending on, when I'm actually talking about this right now. So what I did is I just performed a very simple meditation, and I initially just started just speaking some of the things within my mind about. It wasn't even initially even about attracting love into my life. It ended up turning, the manifestation ended up turning into that, but it was basically just about finding the right person who I can share a very similar life path and journey with. That's basically how it began. So I did the meditation within my mind, or I would listen to like a few audio recordings and something that you can find online or whatever. But I just always found that I was just falling asleep during it. It just wasn't really the best thing for me, because I was just, it's very, very hard to just listen to that and then not fall asleep. So that is when I thought, I need to say this stuff out loud. I need to talk it out loud to attract this person. Talk it out loud to the universe as if I'm talking to the other person. That's kind of how it was. I'm like, no matter where this person is in the world, whether they are, like right down the street or on the other side of the world, I am talking and speaking to that person to meet that person, whoever it is that they are. And I don't know anything about them. Okay, so that is when I started to speak out loud and started to say those things. And I realized I was actually staying awake, and I was actually starting to feel something like much deeper. Okay, so as I continued to do that pretty much every single day for like when I started like May or June or whatever, whenever it was, okay? Started doing that every day. The more that I did it, the more specific it started, like the image started to come to me very naturally. It was very, very interesting. It was like over time, it was like the image was being built out within my mind as to more specifics about who this person is. So then that is when I started saying more specific things with the manifestation. Imagining this person and saying it out loud of who this person is, whether it be, just physical, mental, and spiritual as well. And ultimately still going back to that main goal that I had, which was a similar life path. And I would imagine it and envision it and see that sort of stuff. And I would physically feel as though they were there with me. And it was very interesting because it started to incorporate more and more where I would feel as though their presence was right in front of me, and I would be able to like put my hand on their heart and they did the same thing. We would kind of go like that, and it just felt like it was a very, very intense experience, as if there was actually someone there, but there was no one physically there. So this can be, I guess, if you really think about it, could be connecting with this other person's spirit. Because here in the physical realm, we're divided by distance. But spiritually, in a different dimension, there is no distance. There is no, physical location that is different. It just is all the same. So it could have been me really connecting with whoever it is that this person was. Okay? So all of that was very emotional and very, very deep. So I was probably doing this almost every day, probably at least 5 or 6 times a week or so, for several weeks on end. And then, it became more specific and everything. But then after probably like a few months or so, I noticed there would be something I would feel inclined to do. Like it would say to me, like some sort of thought would come to me, whether it be from like a spirit guide or something, my higher self. It's like, you have to learn something. This is what you're going to learn. And it was interesting because I had thought about, like, is it really kind of guiding me in a certain way? It's like I'm going to actually learn a new skill here, and something, something I'm going to learn here. And I thought about learning this sort of thing a long time ago, but I just kind of pushed it out of my memory. Like, it's like, I just really don't feel a need to really learn that. And all of a sudden, it just kind of comes back up that you have to do that. You have to learn that. It's like, okay, I will start learning that. So this is like several months in at this point. So I began learning that new skill and everything, kind of, focusing on those things. And eventually it ended up leading me, all sorts of ways, all sorts of paths. And I kind of saw where it was directing me. It was directing me towards it's very, very interesting. It's like different avenues opened up, and I tried different avenues of different things here, and it's like, this one does not work. This one does work. So I continued down this way. It was like I was feeling very, very guided along this journey as I was continuing to do this manifestation for many, many months. Okay. And then at some point towards the end of 2024, so this is probably after probably about 4 months is when I got the idea to start learning something. Probably 3 months after that, still doing it pretty much every day or so, that's when it started to guide me towards certain people. And I was noticing these people that I was starting to connect with and interact with, it was all things that I had asked for in this manifestation meditation. It wasn't just in one person, okay? Let me clarify this, because this is what's so interesting. There were multiple people, probably like, let's say maybe 4 or 5 people, that I was noticing certain traits that I had asked for during this manifestation. And this was something that was very interesting. It's like, oh, I see. Because I've realized, interacting with people, over many years, you can't have everything you want in another person. It's just not possible. But there's certain things that some people are going to have that are going to fulfill certain things and other people don't have. So that is when I realized all these people that I'm connecting with, I manifested all of these people, and they're helping me along the way in this journey. Some people, perhaps they don't last as long. They just help me during a very specific part. Other people last a bit longer. Other people are the connection is very, very intense. So really, I think I'm still kind of in the middle of all of this, and it's been over a year at this point. I'm still kind of in the middle. I haven't done the manifestation in several months at this point, many months actually, because I didn't feel the need anymore to do it. That's what was so interesting. It's kind of like I just naturally stopped because I didn't feel the need to do it anymore. But I felt as though this was all guiding me on a certain path, doing all of these things and meeting the people that I had asked for. It's like, that is so fascinating. So I think in time, more clarity will be known about, whatever the situation is. And I think at the end, whatever the end result of any connection that I have is, that it will result in some sort of positive outcome for me that is going to be, what I had asked for and everything. So we shall see, because it is a very profound thing that happened. So I'm just sharing my experience to show you that it does indeed work. It may not work the way that you think it may work. It could work very differently, but it works in a way that you will attract the right people to you that are going to help you learn and grow, but it will kind of steer you in ways that you never thought imaginable. Like, I never thought a little bit more than a year ago that I would go through that sort of journey. But there's if I didn't do that manifestation, I don't think I would have been on this journey. I would not have been, because I would have not have met these people, because I would not have learned the skills that it was telling me to do. So it was so fascinating. It really was. So that is just my experience with this, and hopefully you can use this experience to really bring something positive into your life. Oh, okay. Anyway, let's see what else we have to say here. Love manifestation, yes. We speak fluent typos, yeah. I have way worse typos on YouTube than anywhere else. Yeah, maybe. YouTube's fault, indeed. YouTube's fault. That's so cool. Indeed, it is. It's very, very cool. And I guess prior to the events that happened in my life several months ago, I was like so hesitant to share any of that because it was like so embarrassing for me. It's like, let's not share that. That's just kind of embarrassing. It is very embarrassing. But now I am openly talking about it because it is very interesting how it changed my life. It really is. So we don't know any sort of outcome yet of anything. But I think it's because things are still happening. Things are still happening, obviously. You know, I don't think everything that I had manifested has fully come to reality. Because I put in so much effort every single day, almost every single day. Let's just say 5 days a week. For many, many months. So it's like, oh, here it is. Be ready. And it's like, I had no idea. I had no idea what was about to unfold. That literally changed my entire life. Absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. That's right. Because I literally, I didn't share this in that segment, but literally my whole life just changed drastically. Like I lost people from my life that, you know, were close to me, and I think it was because of that. Because it's like life was basically saying you have to get rid of the old that is not going to serve you anymore or are going to cause conflict with the new people. And then literally as the old goes away, the new comes in, and it's like, my gosh, you know, just absolutely wild. Absolutely just wild, to say the least. You know, so I'm very, very thankful. Very, very thankful for everything that had transpired. But there's still more. There's more to the story. Anyway. We shall do now. Okay. Let's get this ready for the final thing today. Let us do the tarot reading for the next week ahead. So this is going to be for the very end of September into October. So we're approaching the end of September here. This is the last few days. Then we'll be starting October. So let's see what this week ahead brings, shall we? Okay. So let's go down here. Let's make sure that we have our crystals. Oh, look. It's a card right here. I think that's going to be for the middle of the week. I just have a sense. For the middle of the week. So we like to draw 3 cards here. One for the beginning, the middle to the end, and then the weekend. So we already have our middle to the end of the week. Let's ask for the beginning, okay? So we're going to shuffle the cards now, and we're going to see what we end up getting. It's going to be very, very interesting. This is the first card we're going to draw is going to be for the end of September. Let's see what we get here. Just go like this. There we go. And we have another card left behind here. That's going to be for the end of September. This is the beginning of October. And then for the weekend ahead, let's see what the weekend brings. What did we get? What did we get? I'm going to draw from the bottom here. There we go. All right. Let's see what we have ahead of us. Okay, so for the very end of September here, we have a nice little mouse here, as you can see. Cutie mouse right here. Hang on. Cutie mouse. He is, can never ever get this. There we go. He has a lot of treasure, as you can see. He's got so much treasure, he doesn't know what to do with it. And that's basically what the premise of this card is. But usually in inheritance. Some sort of inheritance that may be coming into your life. So, yes. Financial and family stability, home and family security is central to this card, and property sales are often indicated. So it could indicate that there is something at home that is very prosperous for you. Something that's going to be material possessions being passed through generations. It could be something money-wise that's going to be large sums of money may be coming to you at the beginning of the week. So it could be, maybe it's payday at the end of the month. Who knows? I don't know. Possibly. But maybe it's a bit more than that. Maybe it has to do with family. Family inheritance, or maybe something along those lines. You getting some amount of money at the end of September. So for the middle to the end of the week, so this is going to be October. We have here the Page of Cups. Let's take a look at the page here. There she is. Page of Cups. Could be some sort of surprise that could be coming into your life. Good news. Happy emotional nature. Some sort of good positive news here. It could be related to money. Could be related to some sort of love even, because it is cups. Usually cups is about emotions. It could be something very, very positive when it comes to some unexpected news that's going to be of your best interest, of something that is positive for you at the beginning of October. So for the weekend ahead, let's see what we have for the weekend. Okay, so this one here, Five of Swords. So you can see there is a man here. He's kind of claiming victory over things. It's not necessarily a card that I look at as like the most positive type of card, to be completely honest with you. Because if you look, there's like people in the background and they kind of look a bit upset. They don't look too happy in the background, as if this person has defeated them. And that basically what could be the whole premise of this here. It's like maybe you do feel a sense of defeat. There could be some sort of deceit at play when it comes to maybe some of these other elements, when it comes to money, financial matters, when it comes to, you know, some sort of positive news. Maybe there is a level of deceit below that. Maybe there is something that has been lost through unfair means. Because maybe this man right here, this is not a legitimate victory. This is something that he did through criminal action. So maybe that is kind of how you feel for the week ahead here. So maybe your end of September, early in the week to the end of the week, seems as though it's very, very good, until you realize maybe there's some sort of deceit at play when it comes to some of these elements. Dishonor, defeat, loss. Just be careful when it comes to these sort of situations. So maybe if you feel very, very excited about things that are happening in the week, bring it down a little bit. Bring it down a little bit. Because maybe there's some sort of deceit at play. Or you don't want to be conceited. It could be maybe this is you rubbing it in other people's faces. Selfish victory. You don't want that either. So just approach in a very calm, relaxed manner, whatever positive thing may come to you. And I think you will be able to more easily deal with some of these deceitful things at play, whether it be from you or from someone else. Okay, folks. Not sure how much more I can actually talk. My voice is kind of destroyed. So do you think there's a difference between self-fulfillment prophecies and manifestation? Self-fulfillment prophecies. So I guess things that you're destined to have in life. That's interesting. I don't know. I think there's a lot of things you don't know really, you know? It could be like, do you deserve, you know? I don't know. It's a few more weeks and I will officially be an old man. October 25th, I'll be 45. You're 10 years older than me, Ryan. I'm a big 35. 35. What happened to your vocal cords? I have no idea. It's just like really raw right now. I think I just talked too much. I talk more today than other times. L for loser. You're a loser. Anyway, folks, I do want to head off here now because my voice is a bit wrecked. I need to calm it down. But hopefully you got something positive out of this. This was a very interesting discussion, and I shared some personal stories with you. Very interesting things that have happened. So, I enjoy catching these again. I'm glad that you can promise. Thank you so very much. So, folks, I will be live again in October. In October, I shall be back. October 5th, we shall be back here. Okay? So I want you to take care. We have some more interesting discussions up ahead. So I will see you all then. So take care. Have a good one. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.